Hello and welcome to See and Know. It's great to be back with you and I hope you've had a fantastic Easter. I hope you've enjoyed some beautiful sunshine, I hope you've enjoyed some rest, I hope you've enjoyed some chocolate and celebrating that Jesus is risen. Now today's story is called Cowboy Builders and we're going to find out what that's all about in just a minute, but of course we need to find out who's here. So we're going to sing our welcome song and see who it is. So I'll leave a nice big gap for you, or mum or dad, or grandma or grandpa, or whoever's with you to say your name. Okay, let's sing together. Are you ready? Where is, did you come to see and know? There you are, hello and welcome to See and Know, Cowboy Builders. Now Flo, what have you got here? What have you been up to? You've got some bricks, you've been doing some building. Fantastic. Oh, you do enjoy building, don't you? I love playing with bricks as well. Lego and Duplo and building blocks. I love making things. What about you at home? Do you enjoy building things and making things? Well, today's story is all about some builders. And we're going to tell that story in a moment. But first of all, we need to practice our actions. So, are you ready? Our first one is we're going to clench our hands together, make fists, and we're going to put them on top of each other, going higher and higher. Can you do that? And then we're going to unclench our fists, and with flat hands, we're going to sweep across like that. Can you do that? Can you sweep away? And then we're going to place our hands in fists again and place them on top of each other again. And that's it. Those are our three actions. So should we practice those again, just to remind ourselves what they are? So we've got making fists and putting them one on top, getting higher and higher and higher. And then we're going to open our hands and sweep them away. And then we're going to put them back on top, building with our fists again. So let's tell the story, Cowboy Builders. There were once two builders who were each building a house. Can we get our hands together and start building one on top of the other? One was clever, the other one not so clever. The first one built on the sand and that house fell down when it rained. Can we do our hands open and flat? There it is. The house fell down. The second one was clever and built a house on the rock. It took longer, but it didn't fall down, even when the rain came. Can we build again on the rock this time? Jesus said, we must be like the clever builder. And that's the end of the story. Should we tell it again to remind ourselves what happened? There were once two builders who were each building a house. Can we start building our house with our fists, one on top of the other, getting higher and higher? One was clever, the other not so clever. The first one built his house on the sand, and that house fell down when it rained. Can we make our house fall down? The second one was clever and built a house on the rock. It took longer, but it didn't fall down even when the rain came. Can we build again? Getting higher and higher. Jesus said, we must be like the clever builder. And that's the end of the story. Well, that's a strange story, isn't it? Jesus was telling us to be like a clever builder. Now, I don't think Jesus was talking about us building houses. I think he was thinking about our lives and having really good foundations. Sand, have you ever felt sand? Have you got any at home that you can play with? When you pick it up, it just falls out of your fingers, doesn't it? Whereas if you hold a rock, it's really firm and stable, just like the blocks. The blocks stand one on top of each other really firm. They're not going to fall apart. And Jesus is talking about having good things in our lives that help our lives have good foundations. It might be really good relationships. It might be belief in God. It might be doing sensible things like not taking other people's things or hurting other people. It's about having really good foundations so that we can have a sensible and good life, so that the things that we want to do stay strong and don't fall flat. It's a really big thing to think about, and maybe you want to have a think with mummy or daddy or grandma or grandpa about some of the things that will be good foundations for your life. As a Christian, as a friend of God, I believe that he's one of mine, and he helps me make other good decisions that can be strong foundations in my life as well. So let's remember the clever builder and building our house on strong foundations, just like him. Now, instead of a craft this week, why not try practicing some building? If you've got something like Duplo or building blocks, you might want to get them out, or you might want to see if you've got other things that you could use around your house to stack on top of each other. And you could even try building in different places. If you've got some sand, you could try building your blocks on the sand and see how easy it is. Or you might want to try it on a nice firm surface, or you might want to try it on your chairs or on your bed and different places to see how easy or hard it might be to build on top of them. Maybe you could let us see some of your towers at the end in the photos down below. So see if you can build some nice tall towers on different surfaces around your house and garden, and have a practice thinking about how hard it is if you don't have a good foundation at the bottom. So we're going to sing the song this week, which is brilliant for it because it's called The Wise Man Built His House Upon the Rock. So we've got actions of building, the rains come down, the floods came up, and then we've got flat. Oh, and firm as well. Okay, so let's sing this song through. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon the rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rain came down and the floods came up. The rain came down and the floods came up. The rain came down and the floods came up, and the house on the rock stood firm. Now we've got the foolish builder. The foolish builder built his house upon the sand. The foolish builder built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rain came tumbling down. The rain came down and the floods came up. The rain came down and the floods came up. The rain came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand went splat. There we go. So you can have fun singing that one this week as well, and as you're building your towers. Now, as we finish today's session, we're just going to say a prayer and talk to God. You might want to close your eyes if you want to, but we're going to get our wiggly fingers first. Okay, have you got your wiggly fingers there? Okay, we're going to wiggle our fingers up to the ceiling. And we're going to wiggle our fingers down to the ground. We're going to wiggle our fingers up to the ceiling. We're going to wiggle our fingers down to the ground. We open and shut them. Open and shut them. Give a little clap. We open and shut them. Open and shut them. Put them on your lap. We put one little hand over one little eye. The other little hand over the other little eye. Bow our little heads and say a little prayer. Talk to God. Dear God, we thank you for the story of the wise and foolish builders. Please help us to have good foundations in our lives, whether it's believing in you, good friends and relationships, or wise decisions. Help us to make good choices, and help us this week to love you, to love each other, and to love ourselves a little bit more. Amen. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us for today's session. We'll be back next week with more. We've got the one service on Sunday live on Zoom at 10 a.m. or pre-recorded at 11 on YouTube. And do check out our Facebook and website as well for more events and things coming up during the week. So have a great week and we'll see you soon. Bye!